another while with me, laugh and drink and say there was something, but you say there was nothing, but you say it with a smile.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Wake up, Peepaw. It's too early. And it's the Fifth Quarter Fantasy Cast. I'm your host, Coach V.
And I'm Dr. Dry.
Hey, there you go. There you go. And it's been a crazy week 3. We are going through what happened and we're previewing what's ahead. We got our famous awards, we've got our waiver wire pickups, and we've got our look ahead into week 4. There's a lot to break down. There's a lot of good things. There's a lot of bad things. Dr. Dry, how are you feeling about the fantasy season 3 weeks in?
Some leagues I'm happy. Some leagues I'm sad. Let's see. I'm undefeated in 2.
Okay.
And then I'm like 1-2 in a couple, and I think I'm 2-1 in one of them too. So anyway, just kind of all over the place. But I don't know. It like you find out at this point kind of the leagues that you start to care about a little bit more, and then whenever you're in so many leagues, like you kind of have to play favorites. Like definitely updating all of them. Don't be a non-updater. That would be bad. It's doctor's orders. Make sure you're always updating your team, no matter what. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Vinny, how are you doing in your leagues?
I'm becoming ever more. You shouldn't listen to anything I'm telling you on this podcast. I'm in 4 leagues. I went 0-4 this week. I was like, and here's the thing. You know how when they put out the weekly recap with all the statistics, I'm being exposed in a lot of these leagues because not only am I like the lowest scorer, but I'm also the least efficient manager. I'm leaving the most points on my bench. My guys are producing under expectation. It's terrible.
Oh no.
But I don't care. I don't care. I do this because it's fun. I do it for the conversation. And I think I have good takes. I just think
Yeah,
when
they
I'm
just got to do their part.
like I'm working off of what's been given to me. Whatever the NFL gives to me, I work off of it. So I'm not out here making bad decisions. I'm making like thoughtful decisions. They're just not working out. And so, but I'm not stressing it. I like a good comeback story. Um, and I ranted today about kickers again and how much I hate kickers. And it takes completely no skill at all in order to pick a kicker. And we should just stop playing kickers because someone was like, well, what kicker do you have? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I just asked someone. And they're like, well, what team do they play for? Once again, I don't know. I couldn't tell you a single kicker on any of the teams that require a kicker. Kickers are stupid, and everyone knows it. They just don't complain about it if they're winning.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, my that dynasty league that we're in together, my team, the Chicago Shit Stains, like really sucks. Like they're 1-2. I know we play we play your team. I won't say that name, but we play you guys this week, and we might combine for 100 points. Like
Oh,
here's the thing: like if you're going to be bad, be young in Dynasty, and both of our teams are very young.
we're bad
Like
and we're young. There's a lot of potential there, but
yeah,
yeah, like
watch out in 2032 when we're competing.
I'd rather have some sort of hope for the future. Like at least if you're bad, you can look to the future. What if you like got a bunch of old guys and you're bad? Like, what are you supposed
Right.
to be happy about? And we know the Candyman is in that situation in one of your leagues. So he has nothing. He
Yeah, I play him this week, and like the wide receivers that I have versus like what he has is it's not going to be pretty, but he usually plays me tough for some reason. Like I think all time in that league I am 15-2 and he's one of the losses. And It was like really messed up. It was like one of those. Who was it? I think it was Zay Jones had the game of his life or something. It was really weird. But Zay Jones
He's nothing
sucks.
more than a common butt cheese boy.
So I mean, yeah, Zay Jones sucks. But anyway, the figured we hadn't brought that out in a while, but let's get into our awards.
All right.
So we have the Hillshire Farms Holiday Sausage, Cheese, and Cracker Gift Basket List of Disappointment. Vinny, who's on there for you?
So my big ones are really the game itself was a disappointment. When you think about Detroit and Atlanta going at it, we all expected fireworks. We did not get fireworks. And my biggest disappointment coming out of the game was Gibbs because, and we love Gibbs. This is a pro Gibbs show here, but it's just difficult to watch a coach's favorite struggle when given all those opportunities. So we were excited. David Montgomery's down. Who is this Craig fella? Like, he's not going to do anything. Give our boy the ball. He gets the ball, but then all of a sudden they forget that he's a receiving target.
Yeah, one catch. I think he had 2 targets or something. It was so I put on the Hillshire Farms list. I actually have the Lions coaching staff. You drafted this guy so damn high. Use him the right way. Like, he's really good. He's probably the second best offensive player that you have. And anyway, so I have Lions coaching staff on there. Who else you got on Hillshire?
And so then on the other side of the ball, the other side of the room there, just Bijan. It sucked watching Bijan have a low game, which that's probably his floor game. It might be his floor game for the whole season. But I was just like disappointed overall in just our rookie RBs going head to head, fireworks. Let's have some fun, and then it was just like, man, cool.
Yeah, I think it was like 10 and 12 points or something.
It was ridiculous, and so I feel like that was the main thing that kind of just like made me just kind of have bad taste in my mouth. What about you?
I'd like to throw the Jags offense on there for the second week in a row. It was a smash spot, and they honestly essed the bed, but we're not dropping any of these guys. Like, we know it's coming.
That's the dividing line between Hillshire and S the B.
Right. So, like, maybe
we're not dropping them.
Yeah, maybe there's a little bit of poo in the gift basket at this point. I don't know. It's getting nasty.
They dropped the gift basket, and some of the sausage fell out and rolled around in the front yard.
And a dog came by and pooped on it, and you were like, "Oh no, I've dropped my holiday gift basket sausage. I better put it back in the basket." That's kind of what happened with the Jags offense. So they're kind of in both camps. T. Higgins, Hillshire Farms boy this week.
Yeah.
Just dropped the ball a lot. I was in a league where I ended up, Puka was a big hero on Monday night. I actually needed him.
Yeah.
And anyway, I was down by like 3. He had T. Higgins, and I was down a lot, but Puka's floor is 12 points, like we've noticed. So that was great. That final like 30, 40-yard catch.
Yeah.
I was like, Puka, you did it. And I ended up winning by like 2. So that was really cool. So T. Higgins, though, lots of drops. I mean, the guy, I don't know. I wouldn't feel comfortable with him as my wide receiver 1 or 2. I know he can go off every now and again. He just seems like one of those inconsistent players that you pay too much in draft capital, in my opinion.
Sure. Well, and like week 1, he was Mr. All Targets, No Catches, right?
Mm-hmm.
And week 3, he's Mr. Drop the Ball. So this is looking really bad for him.
Yeah, week 4 he could be shitting the bed. So, so next I have just the Broncos. I mean, allow 70. I wanted to put the whole team on S the B, but
yeah,
I mean, we're not quite there yet. And Javonte Williams is on there.
Yeah.
He's on Hillshire Farms, but this is a prove it week for him. I think it's because he's going against Chicago. That's the only reason why I'm still starting him. and I think he's been severely misused. They've not. I don't know who's getting the carries because I don't see Samaje doing too much either. And it's a Sean Payton ran offense. I expect more. And a lot of these leagues, I have Gibbs and Javonte Williams. I thought I was a genius, and two God Squad members in my backfield, and they always combine for 15 points. That's ridiculous. And then you have the Raheem Mosterts of the world, 31 years old. I couldn't imagine doing that 3 years ago, like rushing for that many yards and touchdowns and everything. And then I have Dak Prescott. Like, you're in such good offense, losing to the shitty Cardinals. What are you doing?
Yeah,
So
a weird game. I don't know. They were just
can't score. I don't even know if he scored one touchdown.
I mean, they shut down CD and they kind of exposed the Cowboys as like, man, if CD can't get the ball, they kind of struggle.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna put our best ball lineups on the Hillshire Farms list as a bonus.
Look at those.
So the best that we have finished anywhere is 9,000th.
Oh,
and that's good enough for no money. So we make no money. And 9,000th is the highest that any of our lineups have reached this year. So, we're at risk here. It's not looking good. I think a lot of ours have like a lot of either Cup or Eckler or something where we just aren't getting. We're taking zeros in spots where we shouldn't. Yeah. But I know we got a lot of Tank Dell, which is exciting.
Hey, we're very excited about Tank Dell. He's a good man. We want him.
Can I get a Dell-Yeah Bruther?
I think we're hearing a lot of that tonight, and I hope we're hearing a lot of that in the future, to be honest.
Yeah.
I need that to just be a thing forever and ever, because Tank Dell is the man, and no matter what happens, no matter how stupid we look this season, we're going to look good for him.
Yep. Gotta look nice. All right. So the sleep number, the bet award, we have a couple guys on here. I have Najee Harris and Kyle Pitts. God Squad member, I know, but we've waited years, so
no issue there.
Do you have anybody?
So this is my opportunity to just go off on Joshua Kelly. And,
all right, take the floor.
Dude, we fell for it, man. Like, you got me all jacked up. Everything said, let's get you rolling. Let's get them in the game. And then, you played Tennessee, not a single target, nothing in the passing game. You can't get anything running. And smart people would have been done with you there. But I feel like people who think about fantasy a lot like we do and like a lot of people do are the ones really getting screwed this season because we're thinking too hard about stuff. And Joshua Kelly is a prime example because he showed himself as a shit the better last week. But I was like, well, Tennessee's defense, blah, 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 game flow, blah, blah, blah. We got Minnesota, no defense to speak of. This is going to be great. I'm going against the grain. I'm putting in Joshua Kelly. And then I get covered in shit. And I was sleeping in that bed when he shit in it. Do you know what it's like to wake up covered in another man's feces? It's not ideal. I don't care if your sleep number's 5 or your sleep number's 55. If you wake up covered in someone else's feces, you're going to have a bad night's sleep.
That's true. If you want to have a better night's sleep, make sure you get on over to Underdog with the code Fifth Quarter Fantasy, and they'll match your deposit up to $100 the first time that you deposit. Make sure that you're using our code. Sign up for Underdog. Try to finish better than 9,000th.
Yeah, you finish better than 9,000th, we'll send you a crisp $1 bill.
We'll autograph it.
And that's
man. Yes. So yeah, Joshua Kelly, he is cheese you off for the last time.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of the term rage dropped?
Oh yeah, isn't that where like matchup's not even over? You just do it right then. Did you rage drop him?
I rage dropped him in every league where it was available.
I love it. I mean, that's how you know they're just off the team.
Yeah, get out of my team. So our
Yeah.
next award is, let's kind of cleanse the palate here. People that we're happy with, the McDonald's 11th Nuggie Award. So you pop open that little canister, and by God, there's an extra nug in there. So we're excited about that. So I have the most obvious one all day, and Kevin's pulling the chain there. So is Devin A. Chan is what I'm hearing. That's what the people are telling me, is that the chain is over. The chain is over. It's A. Chan now. So, Kevin, how do you feel about his new name?
I don't know. I put the emphasis on the A. So yeah, I don't know. I heard one show. Yeah, I heard one show call him the A Train, and I thought that was kind of cool. Because you can't stop that.
Wasn't there a former running back who was also the A Train?
I think so. Was it Mike Allstott?
That sounds right. Either way, but yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but A Chain kind of opposite.
Definitely not similar to Mike Allstott at all.
Yeah, not white.
But they had been signaling that they were going to kind of like unleash him because he'd been quiet the first, and like I drafted him, and then in leagues where I kind of had a short bench, I'd already let him go because I needed to kind of move people around.
He's kind of hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, and so awesome to see him go off. But I mean, frankly, everyone was going off. I mean, it was just a crazy day, and so but. Obviously, he's going to be a number one waiver wire priority for a lot of people this week, and it was very nice to see the little fella get going. And by God, if he's in space, look out! Like you're not going to touch him.
Little fella doing big things. Excellent 11th McNugget, but number one in our hearts. Let's turn back the clock, Mr. Keenan Allen. He is my 11th McNugget award. I don't own him anywhere. I tend to stay away from players who unfortunately are injury prone. And he's one of those where if he never had injuries, he would be like a top tier first rounder every year. 18 catches, 215 yards, didn't even need a touchdown. And he just goes off. So he's my 11th McNugget award. I know we had a lot to choose from, but I think we're just going to kind of keep it at those two unless you have a bonus nug.
No, not really. There's a ton. There was a ton, but nothing worth spending time on. I think we can hop on to it.
Yeah, I'm not putting Mostert in there just because I don't know. Something feels like I know he's probably the most injury prone running back in the league.
Yeah.
And A-Chain is something new, one of those rookies that we really like. I don't know. So I think A-Chain's the obvious pick there. And I hope that he gets, not hoping injury on anybody, but I hope A-Chain just takes the bulk of the work moving forward and becomes the main guy and can put up 200 yards every week. But
yeah, and look out too. I mean, I think Jeff Wilson's kind of getting closer to coming back. So that backfield could get split up some more. Which also injury prone as well. I mean, him and Mostert are pretty injury prone. So
and that's the thing. I think that's why he's kind of a surprise, because I know in rookie drafts in Dynasty, it was end of the first round, and I was looking at A-Chain or Charbonnet. Charbonnet fell to me. And I was like, oh, Sharbs all day. And anyway, he hasn't done anything. It's been Kenneth Walker's backfield, which Kenneth Walker's been damn dominant. He's looked really good. But yeah, I mean, A-Chain was just someone that you shied away from because it's he's in a, three-headed monster backfield, and same thing with like Roshan Johnson. He was, stuck in a three-person backfield. He's probably going to emerge to be the guy, but turns out Chicago really sucks this year. So
Yeah.
he's kind of getting game scripted, game flowed out, kind of like what we saw with Damian Pierce last year. Good running back, kind of got screwed because the rest of the team sucks.
Yeah.
But
Pierce got
anyway.
me this week. I think that was his first touchdown of the week. So
yeah,
that was nice. That was cute.
But yeah. So I mean, everybody else gets a participation award. So I'm a millennial. I have a lot of them.
So week 4 is upon us, and so waiver wire pickups and week 4 preview. So as far as waiver wire guys, there's the obvious ones this week. If Chan is out there, he's going to be a hot commodity on people's waiver wires. Joshua Palmer with the Mike Williams injury, that's going to be a hot waiver wire commodity this week. And so I have some less obvious ones. Who do you have on yours that are more, ones that a lot of people are going to be going after?
Well, he should already be on some teams, but
Can I get a Dell-Yeah Bruther?
Tank Dell, if he's not rostered, like, what are you doing? Get this guy in there. Like, he's gonna start over like some pretty obvious guys. Like, moving forward, he starts becoming a. Do I start this guy over? I don't know. Like, I was considering him over Calvin Ridley in a league. I was considering him over, or at least moving forward this week. That's kind of what I'm looking at. Yeah, I mean, I still want to see more volume, but man, is he electric? Like, it's, I think it's obvious and we were calling this back in early July. Hey, watch Tank Dell over in Houston. It was an extremely crowded wide receiver room. We were like, hey, the guys are going to be Tank Dell and Nico Collins, and those are the two guys that you want out there. CJ Stroud, I think he's going to be one of those quarterbacks that loses a lot but puts up stats, like just really good fantasy quarterback.
Fantasy.
I love that. Like, I respect the hell out of a good fantasy quarterback. You don't have to win games. I don't care about real football
Might lose
anymore.
his job in the NFL with his team, but we'll just like have so many fantasy fanboys following behind him everywhere he goes.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I know Titans played the Browns. I live here in Browns country. I'm a Titans fan, and everybody was like, "Oh, we beat you," and I'm like, I really don't care as long as my fantasy teams win. That's that's where I'm at, and I'm kind of a bad fan. Unless it's elimination game, like, talk to me then. But right now it's all about the fantasy teams. But yeah, other guys, Jalen Warren, who should be on a roster. Jeff Wilson, I think, is a good sneaky ad. Someone who, I don't know, he might get some go over in Miami, might be able to break in there. Mostert still hasn't gotten hurt yet, so that's upcoming. Those are kind of the main guys that come to mind. I think Tutu Atwell is going to be a pretty, mainstay kind of thing. He might still be available in some leagues. I don't have anything too deep. Who are the deep guys that you're talking about?
Kenneth Walker's looking good, but Charbonnet is also looking good, or it just seemed looking better. And so it seems
just needs it more. Yeah.
Right. And Walker's one of those who's been injury prone in his short career too. So, I mean, it seems like Seattle's getting it together with their running game. And so Charbonnet might be one who had coming out the draft, you dropped from your bench, and it might be time to start looking at a pickup because, if Walker goes down, Charbonnet's the man. I think Charbonnet has the talent. He just isn't getting the touches, but Walker has been known to go down. And then,
we chase opportunity, so before he becomes like an obvious waiver wire guy, you want to get on him.
Right. Like, you could go pay, 5% of your fab for him today, or you could go pay 15, 20% of your fab for him in 2 weeks. So get him. If you got the bench room, go get him. Roshan Johnson could be someone who emerges, and it's kind of the same deal. Tomorrow, probably not, but in time, there could be some stuff there. So you might want him on your squad. Adam Thielen had a good week, and that's 2 in a row.
Yeah.
I think Andy Dalton is going to really be looking his way. Maybe it's like I don't know, it's like a white on white kind of thing. It's just like, here you go. And that's not good. That's not good, Andy. You shouldn't be like that. Okay.
Yeah, don't be like that, Andy.
But I think Andy Dalton might be looking his way. And we already saw like Bryce Young was looking his way too the week before. So I'm one who like drafted Thielen, benched him, dropped him, and maybe I pick him back up if I'm feeling it. But some savvy people may have already got him last week.
Yeah.
Looking like Rico Dowdle is ahead of Deuce Vaughn and getting carries and being productive. That's the big thing this year. Is Pollard going to make it through the year injury free? If he doesn't, we know Dallas feeds the running back. So Rico Dowdle might be a good pickup, and he's available. He's like less than like 20% rostered, it looks like, on Sleeper at least. And then Kyler Murray is inching closer and closer. So if you're having struggles, and Kyler Murray is one of those, terrible for his team, but
We like him.
Fantasy. So he's inching closer. I don't think he's like a today. He doesn't have to be a today, but you could get him for pennies today.
Yeah.
Or you can harbor them and hold on to them and sell them to someone later on. So. But yeah, those were kind of the ones that I had that maybe were a little bit less obvious. And some of those I got waivers on. Some of those, I'm on a team where maybe we're a little stronger at RB, so I'm not really worried about picking up, RB waivers. I'm strong enough receivers, so I'm not worried about it. But some of those, I probably have a waiver in on almost all of those, like deep guys for sure somewhere, because it's just nice to, like we were talking about in our previous show, always be improving through your bench. Just because you're set doesn't mean you won't be set later. So you got to keep
right.
Your bench.
Yeah. So also, I mean, and I think, I don't know, in deeper leagues he's probably rostered, but Tajay Spears, Derrick Henry, you can tell he might be getting older. I mean, I still consider him one of the best running backs in the game. Tajay Spears still always gets some snaps and carries and all that, and he's looked good. He's kind of one of those one injury away from having a very prominent role kind of guys.
Yeah.
And Tennessee loves him. But I don't know if Tennessee can even run the ball anymore. Like, they've looked so bad. That offensive line, like, it's so bad. So sort of, I don't know. I think right now you're looking at running back situations and who could possibly overtake someone. Najee Harris, S the B this week. Jalen Warren might be on waivers. He's looked way better than Najee Harris. I think what we see there might be kind of a Zeke and Pollard situation from last year or even the year before. We might be a year early on it, but I just got him thrown in on a dynasty trade. I traded away Calvin Ridley, but I didn't give up much to get him. I got 226 firsts and Jalen Warren. I think it was a good return. Also helps him out. The owner has T-Law, so he gets that connection now. I'm stacked at receiver. And so that's kind of how, one of those moves that you can make. But, I see it as Jalen Warren might be better than Najee Harris. So, why not go ahead and get him before everybody's scrambling to pick him up? And the way that the running backs are right now, I don't think anybody has two excellent running backs that they're very excited about in this landscape. So a lot of people have the best thing to do right now, I think, is get really good handcuffs that if they were to be next man up, then all of a sudden you have the guy. So I think that's kind of an approach to this kind of landscape that we're in for running backs this year. But that's just my outlook.
Yeah, and I think we're in that point now. We're starting to transition into the place I was talking about this with someone earlier. On the waiver wire, at least, where
it's skim.
It's at that point now where the offenses are all kind of figured out, barring injuries. There's not a lot of new waiver wire ads that are like crazy. And now it's like I'm searching for the deeper guy, I'm searching for the handcuff, or I'm just trying to get that number one claim on that injury situation. Whereas like week 1, there's so much like prospecting going on in the waiver wire because you saw someone in action for the first time. So yeah, we're in that point, and that's why like in the leagues, I'm doing terrible in a lot of leagues, but I have no fear because I was trying to encourage our boy Peepaw the other day because he was lamenting his fantasy season. I was with him. We were both railing on Josh Kelly. I hope he felt it at home. I hope he could just feel two people screaming at him at the same time. But I was talking about fantasy rewards the diligent. So be diligent, stick with it, and even if you don't win, you can spoil someone's season, and that's always fun. I love like really season.
Yeah, definitely.
Playoffs or something like that. So week 4 previews. I tried to just highlight some big storylines that I thought. So some of my like notes are more like questions for you, Dr. Try, that you might want to hop in on. And so we'll pull up our situation here and we'll show off what's going on this week coming up. So my first highlight is Falcons and Jags. Have you noticed the Falcons' defense is kind of stout? Teams aren't necessarily like doing big things against them. So my little question was, the Jags may not get right this week.
And it's not a home game. This one is in London, I believe.
Yeah, so you got the weird early start time.
Yeah, I love the London game, 9:30 a.m. Like it's great.
Yeah, it's like literally 12 hours of football now.
Oh yeah, 12 hours of nonstop football.
But yeah, like we're all kind of like, I mean, heck, I got some Lawrence and Ridley shares, and I just keep plugging them in. And then this week is the first week where I'm like, ooh, maybe I don't play either of them guys because
maybe you do.
Right. What do you think?
I mean, who else are you plugging in? Like,
yeah, I mean, it's situation to situation. Like would I play? Like for instance, in one, would I play Anthony Richardson over Trevor Lawrence this week? I might do that. But like Tank Dell, Calvin Ridley, you said you have that conundrum.
Yeah.
Can I get a Dell-Yeah Bruther?
I think.
There's your answer.
Yeah. I don't know. We gotta see who Tank Dell plays this week. But anyway, I think I don't know. I think I'm rolling out Lawrence and Ridley again. I know last week was supposed to be the get right week, and it wasn't. The Jaguars play well overseas. I've noticed. Like, I thought that they were going to move overseas for a couple years there. Like, people love them over there, so it might as well be a home game.
Yeah.
And another thing, kind of an extra thing, the Falcons gave up on Calvin Ridley. He's going to want to F them up. Like, I think it's a big Ridley revenge game. I kind of wish I would have traded him away 1 week later just to get the points from this game. I'm probably rolling with Lawrence and Ridley here.
I didn't think about that. I bet a lot of our listeners / viewers didn't think about that either, but that is perfect because narrative matters. And you've probably convinced me. Ridley's probably staying in my lineups over that.
Yeah. I mean, the revenge game. It's real.
So real.
And, like, I mean, basically, he got, and I can't remember. I think it was like he might have quit on them, but I don't remember exactly what happened.
Some level of bad blood, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Like, it's, it's done. So, anyway, he, so, yeah, basically, I'd go with that.
Next one that I highlight is just the literal electric matchup between Dolphins and Bills. God, I hope this doesn't disappoint. So far this season, anytime we got two that are supposed to go off, they don't. Jacksonville and KC, Detroit and Atlanta. So I really hope this blows up. Is there anyone that you're not starting in this matchup?
No, start everybody. I mean, I think it's, Dolphins. We've seen, they're the best offense in football right now. I think you do want the Bills at home also. Josh Allen, I like Josh Allen in shootouts. Stephon Diggs always has big games. Hell, Gabe Davis has been playing okay.
He's scored
Like,
2 weeks in a row. He's gotten into the end zone, and they were both
yeah.
traditional Gabe Davis deep ball situations.
Yeah, so I mean, expect a lot of that. I think Tyreek Hill, I think he's gonna easily have 2,000 yards this year. He's been balling out of his mind.
I think we're going to have multiple 2K receivers in the same year.
Mm-hmm. I can see it.
Because Jefferson's on pace, Tyreek's on pace. There might be someone I'm missing. I feel like there's a third person on pace for 2K right now. Hell, probably Puka might be on. Well,
I have all three of them on a team.
I think Adams, Devontae Adams might be on pace.
Oh, he's looked good.
As well. So I mean, literally, we could maybe have 3 2K receivers this year. It's insane.
Yeah, yeah.
So next one that I have highlighted is who do I got here? Madison got moving this week. There's
Over
nothing
100.
that'll light a fire underneath you than the team bringing in some guy to basically replace you right in front of your
Right?
face.
Yeah.
So now he had what was basically a fumble, but ruled not a fumble. The whole Vikings team has had fumbling problems. But yeah, like last week was a prove it week for Adam or for Madison for me, and now he's bought himself another week in some of my lineups. Is that the
Yeah.
case for you?
Yeah, I think so. Honestly, I don't think Cam Akers is very good. I know Madison kind of was slow out of the gate, but I do like Madison better than Akers. He was someone that you they are on the same team now. I think Madison's better. So I think the Vikings also. I know we don't care about the real outcome, but I think the Vikings get a win this week. And to a point, I think it is important to care somewhat about the wins because I don't know. Say the Vikings are 0-10, and then Justin Jefferson has a little bit of a hamstring issue. All of a sudden, that hurts a little bit more when you're 0-10.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to shut it down for the year and get Caleb Williams next year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think at some point we do got to care about the wins a little bit, and I think this will be a good one for the Vikings to get. And Adam Thielen, Vikings defense isn't great, so maybe that success continues. So I think that should be a good game.
So the next note that I have is going to be Bears and Broncos. So there's a few things. First thing is, does Justin Fields have a concussion? Did you see the video where DJ Moore's making him trying to make him get off the field, and he's trying to stay in the game?
Oh
DJ
gosh!
Officially grabbing him and is like, "Dude, get off the field. You have a concussion."
Yeah.
And there's no news in someone like the fantasy app alerts about it. So I'm guessing everything's cool, but question mark Justin Fields concussion. Is he going to end up having to miss? But they got the Broncos. So what are you going to do do you want to roll with Justin Fields another game because it's the Broncos? Or a team coming off such an embarrassment like that, playing against the offense that's been sucking pretty hard, do the Broncos bounce back and just really lay into Fields and the Bears and make it even worse for them?
I don't know. I think probably a lot of field goals in this one. Both offenses have looked kind of bad. I think the Broncos have looked a little better.
Yeah.
And I think both of them got embarrassed really bad last week, but only one of them lost by 50. So, so I think the Broncos are going to come back.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Who knows? That's one I just don't have a lot of faith in. But it's a prove it week for Javonte Williams for me. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, I mean, I think the NFL is a lot more interesting when Justin Fields was good and putting up some good fantasy stats.
And also, don't forget about this. I heard this on my football guys podcast. But Justin Fields does have some nice matchups coming up, so he could be entering a window, just like last year with a terrible start, and then all of a sudden, best thing ever. He's got Denver, Washington, Minnesota, and Las Vegas.
Nice.
So that's a 4-game window where
good point. Yeah.
he might do some old Justin Fields things. So I'm not playing him this week. For me personally, I don't need to play him where I have him, so I can just sit back and watch. But if he shows life, maybe he's back in the following week. My next one is, everyone's talking about it, but it's all about.
Can I get a Dell-Yeah Bruther?
That's him.
I mean, that's really the biggest story for me is we're talking Tank Dell emerging against that Steelers defense that just let. I mean, I think we could see a Devontae Adams like performance
That'd be cool.
Monday night out of Tank Dell, the youngster, the good man.
The good man. Yeah. I think so. I think it's kind of a prove it to see how good Tank Dell is kind of game. Steelers defense is tough. That's the thing. But I mean, Devontae Adams did it. If Tank Dell can do, he doesn't even have to put up Devontae numbers, but if he can do what he did last week, or even I don't know, 8 catches, 88 yards, what he did 2 weeks ago. I think that would be good and can show okay, he might be matchup proof. He might be able to take that next step. I think right now Tank Dell is the wide receiver 13 or something, so he's borderline 1. I mean, if he does something against the Steelers, then I think he's a non-question starter moving on the rest of the year. Whereas right now he might be a little more situational, but definitely someone that you put in your flex or depending on your wide receiver situation, I think he definitely has a spot as he's no worse than the first guy off your bench. So this will be kind of that prove it week to take the next step.
So next up that I want to talk about is the Eagles and Commanders. And really what I want to talk about is 2 weeks Swift doing things. Is this real? Where's Kenneth Gainwell? What happened to week 1 and all the weirdness? What do we do? I mean, people who are Swift owners are like, yes, but are you worried that it's just going to become a Gainfield backfield, a Gainwell backfield the following week? So does Swift keep it up? What's the deal?
I think Swift keeps it up. I think they realized it now that he's done it 2 weeks in a row. I think last week was kind of that, prove it's real, use them the right way kind of week. And now they've seen it against a good, Buccaneers defense. So I think that continues. Gainwell's still going to get some touches, barring injury, though. Hopefully they're still going to use Swift the right way. But I'm surprised the Commanders are 2-1. But that's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, the Commanders, though, I'm about done with their wide receiving core, and I don't know. I was trying to trade for Brian Robinson in a league last week. I'm glad I didn't get him. He kind of had a bad week, but I don't know. The Commanders just aren't a dynamic team. I think it's kind of a false 2-1 where they're maybe more of a 1-2, 0-3 kind of team.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, they were the ones they beat Philly last year, kind of surprisingly. That's just that divisional stuff. Teams within division, they'll play each other a little bit harder. And then my final talking point is them boys. A weird game last week, lost to Arizona. Some people said maybe just overlooking it. We all overlooked it. We all just said, win, move on. And maybe
I picked them with confidence in my office pick 'em. So
you and everybody else. And so, are we worried about Dallas this week? Because we know Belichick's going to take something away. That's what he does. He takes away the best element of your offense. So would that be the same recipe where Arizona said, we're not going to let you throw at the CeeDee Lamb like you like to? Does Belichick do the same thing and the Cowboys struggle? Or, is it just they're going to shake it off and move right on?
I think they shake it off. I think they play really well at home. I think Belichick can't take away the Cowboys defense. So so I think that that's going to be big. And then game flow will take care of itself. I think the Cowboys bounce back big time. I think they were embarrassed against the Cardinals and really should not have lost that game. But also I think the Patriots do not look good. They struggled against the Jets. So imagine what the Cowboys are going to do.
Yeah. Zeke Elliott revenge game. Here we go.
Yeah, very. Yeah, so watch out for that.
Who
Hopefully,
didn't
the
look
Cowboys
bad.
defense can stop him.
Zeke looked all right last week. I mean, he was actually more productive than Ramondre as far as
Yeah.
like yards per carry. And did he get in the end zone, or I can't remember if Ramondre got in the end zone or Zeke.
Not many people got in the end zone in that game, but I think it was Ramondre that got in. But also, I think this is the week for the Bengals to get right. I think first half last night sucked to watch, but I think if Burrow, has a good week of practice and everything, apparently he didn't tweak anything. I think he was playing a little nervous that first half. Second half, he looked more like himself. And I think, he's playing the Titans. The Titans really suck against the pass. They're butt cheese boys.
Right.
They can't stop anybody. I think it's, and I think the Titans got embarrassed too. They're good at stopping the run, but hey, the Bengals are going to pass on you and you can't stop the pass. So I think that's where we're at with that.
Well, so that's week 4. That's your previews, your waiver wire pickups. Everything you need to know. Don't forget to keep up with us. Follow what we're doing out there. Tell people what's up. We appreciate all of our 125 percenters who have subscribed to the podcast. We're all the way up to 23 subscribers on YouTube. It's pretty
23,000 subscribers on YouTube.
I mean, before you know it, y'all aren't going to be able to even get in touch with us. So, if you've been trying to comment and say,
be our first comment.
Yeah, you should. Someone, hey, you know what? Be our first comment. We could really use one of those. That would be nice, and
it'd be huge for the channel.
I'm gonna die.
We'll pay you.
So anyways, when you're out there doing your things, don't forget Fifth Quarter Fantasy Cast. If you have a commute in your life, you could queue us up for your commute, and you could drive with us, and we could keep you entertained and keep your fantasy relevancy alive because it's a big time of year. So anyways, we're heading out the door. But before we head out the door, there's always 5 important things we ask you to do. And those things are you need to live, laugh, love, like, and subscribe. Fifth Quarter Fantasy Cast. See you next